another huge bombshell that dropped this week for Sewtopia is that Sewage is not helming this series. A surprise to everyone. I thought it would be Sewage. It's always been Sewage in the past. But no. Usually that would give me cause for concern. I'd be kind of worried that why would someone else, how is someone else going to understand these characters the way that Sewage does? Sewage is the only person that's ever written for them outside of the Denossiverse kind of book writers. Deborah's frequently written for some of the characters. But no, it's not. Instead, the showrunner this time and head writer is Dafydd Trussel. Dafydd Trussel's writing every episode of the season. Or has written, I should say, as filming is now underway. Like writing's in the past, but we got it confirmed that Dafydd Trussel is taking over as showrunner, and the fact that it's such a established and really like a writer who's earned their stripes, I think. I mean, the cause for concern is non-existent. Dafydd Trussel's going to do brilliantly. I'm a huge fan of him. I don't know if I watched. I've watched his main shows in the past. I watched Dank Season way back when, with that person who went on to be really, really famous. I really liked, one of my favourite shows growing up was Clear as Forks. It really taught me a lot about growing up in a kitchen environment where all the utensils are transparent. I still have the clear fork prop replica from that series. This is worth so much these days. There's only a handful of them left in the world, and I've got one. My prized possession. Ears and Ears in the last decade was phenomenal. Some of the most standout writing about the side of someone's head that I've ever seen in my life. It was phenomenal. It was brilliant. And then, of course, sort of over lockdown, we had It's His Shin, that series about the prejudices against people who don't have shins through the 1980s, and that was such a moving and powerful piece of TV that if like a drop of that emotion carries through into Tales of Sewtopia, then I am going to be bawling my eyes out every episode. It's great news. It's great news. It's nice to have a brilliant writer, but also someone who's very comfortable talking about real issues and kind of queer issues particularly. I know in a lot of the earlier Sewage scripts, it's a lot we're seeing in some of the earlier Thief stuff that's re-airing on Thief Saga Resurrection. Sewage always struggled to get to the crux of emotional issues and would never commit to the kind of queer relationships or kind of, it was very no homo. I mean, it wasn't. It was always incredibly camp and suggestive, and there was always like a subtext that was very queer. But the dialogue that would then be like, no, it's not this, it's not this. And I feel like under Dafydd's command, that might not be the case. I think full steam ahead. So if Thief and Stew are reuniting, I'm expecting some resolution to. Or well, not even some resolution, just some sort of building on their relationship. Because they're not just friends, they're more than friends. They're buds. They're buds. We know they're buds. So it'll be nice to see what becomes of that. Dafydd also teased some bits and bobs in a little intro video. We didn't get much. We got 3 words, which were vault. Not sure what this means. We've seen some sort of vault stuff with Colin doing heists in the past, so maybe it's tied to that. Trial, obviously the trial of Thief Trevor will be airing again soon on Thief Saga Resurrection. The judge presumably is back then, but who's on trial for what, who's done, I don't know. It's interesting nonetheless. And then the other word was karaoke. Might we be seeing a musical episode of Sewtopia? We've had songs before, but they're usually awful, and I think everyone would rather we didn't have them, so if that is what we get, it's... I don't know if it's what we want. Another point of interest, the backing music for the little intro video they did with Dafydd is Disparate Youth, which was a song that was previously the title sequence, back when the channel was L4T. And it was generally regarded as the worst title sequence. So I know Deborah of OMD particularly hates Disparate Youth. So maybe it's just, it was a minute of nothing, that title sequence. So maybe if it's involved in the series as some sort of backing music, maybe it'll work better as a song. I personally really like the song, but I think maybe it's not been used well by Sewtopia in the past. Maybe that'll change. Maybe things are different now. In any case, that's a big and exciting thing, and filming has started, and so more info will be coming out soon. The series, I'm not sure how far off it is. It could be a couple of months. Like it said, it was coming this year. It could be like the very last day of this year that it starts. But I'm very excited. I'm very happy to see all these bits coming together. I know Deborah kind of joked in one of her recent videos that Sewtopia being back, I'll believe it when I see it. And I'll be honest, I had that same kind of mentality. That's why I was more hyped about the Thief Trevor stuff, because something was happening. But yeah, I think we're starting. We've not seen it yet, but we're starting to see it, and that gives me some hope. So stay tuned, and we'll see what more we find. Check out some of the old Dafydd Trussel series, particularly It's His Shin, if you want to cry yourself to sleep. It's His Shin has iDuke from OMD in a very small part, so if you like that kind of vibe and that kind of crossover, definitely check it out. That's all for today though. Thank you for watching, have a beautiful day, and I will see you again soon.